Transformation is one of the three methods of horizontal gene transfer in bacteria, the other methods being conjugation and transduction. It is a process by which exogenous genetic material may be introduced into the bacterial cell. It involves uptake of naked DNA molecule or segment from the medium and its incorporation into the recipient in an inheritable form. For transformation to occur, bacteria must be in the state of competence, which might occur as a time-limited response to environmental conditions such as starvation and cell density. Discovery of transformation. In the year 1928, Frederick Griffith was working on the mechanism of transfer of virulence in the pathogen Streptococcus pneumoniae. This actually set the stage for the research that first showed that DNA was the genetic material. Streptococcus pneumoniae is the causative agent of bacterial pneumonia in mammals. It is surrounded by a polysaccharide capsule that helps it to evade the host's immune system, thus causing disease. When the disease-causing strain, that is the virulent strain of S. pneumoniae, is grown on the nutrient agar medium, it produces smooth glistening colonies observed due to its enveloping capsule. Those are referred to as S strains. However, some strains of S. pneumoniae undergo mutation and thus lack the enzyme required for capsule synthesis. When such strains are grown on the nutrient agar medium, they produce rough colonies and hence are referred to as R strains. These are avirulent strains, as in the absence of capsule, they are inactivated by the host's immune system. While performing experiments, Griffith found that when the boiled virulent bacteria were injected into the mice did not die, and at the same time, no pneumococci could be recovered from the mice. However, when he injected a mixture of a heat-killed virulent bacteria and living non-virulent bacteria, the mice not only died, but he could recover living virulent bacteria from the dead mice. This meant that the dead virulent S strain cells could in some way provide the living non-virulent R strain cells with the ability to withstand the host's immune response and cause pneumonia. Griffith termed this change of non-virulent bacteria to virulent bacteria transformation. Later, Avery, MacLeod and McCarty in 1944 experimentally proved that the factor responsible for Griffith's transformation was DNA, which was carrying the information required for the virulence of the bacteria. Thus, Griffith's transforming principle was nothing but DNA carrying the genetic information. Detection of transformation. Transformation is detected by selection for inheritance of a phenotype from the donor DNA by the recipient cells. For example, purified DNA obtained from an erythromycin resistant culture of S. pneumoniae is mixed with the cells from an erythromycin sensitive culture and incubated to allow the DNA uptake for phenotypic expression of antibiotic resistance. Later, the cells are plated on the agar medium containing erythromycin to observe the growth of erythromycin resistant bacteria, indicating that those cells have been transformed from being erythromycin sensitive to erythromycin resistant. Types of transformation. Competence and natural transformation. In natural transformation, the DNA comes from a donor bacterium. It is a random process, that is, any portion of genome can be transferred between two bacteria. When bacteria lyse, they release large amounts of DNA into their surroundings. These fragments may be relatively large and contain several genes. If the fragment contacts a competent cell, it gets bound to it and is taken inside. Competence refers to the state of being able to take up exogenous DNA from the environment. There are two forms of competence, natural and artificial. About 1% of bacterial species are capable of naturally taking up DNA under laboratory conditions. More may be able to take it up in their natural environments. Some species, upon cell death, release their DNA to be taken up by the other cells. However, transformation works best with DNA from closely related species. These naturally competent bacteria carry sets of genes that provide the protein machinery to bring DNA across the cell membrane. For example, 5 genes are involved in the mechanism of competency seen in Bacillus subtilis, COM-C, COM-E, COM-F, COM-G and Nuc-A. The transport of the exogenous DNA into the cells may require proteins that are involved in the assembly of type 4 pili and type 2 secretion system as well as DNA translocase complex at the cytoplasmic membrane. Competence appears to result from the changes in the cell wall of the bacteria and probably is associated with the synthesis of cell wall material at a particular stage of the life cycle of the bacterium. In the course of developing competence, some kind of receptors are either formed or activated on the cell wall. These receptors are responsible for the initial binding of the DNA. The number of receptors varies from one organism to other. For example, S. pneumoniae has 80, Bacillus subtilis has 50 and Haemophilus influenzae has 4. Competency is a complex phenomena that depends on several conditions. Bacteria need to be in a specific stage of growth. For instance, S. pneumoniae becomes competent during its late exponential growth phase when the population reaches nearly 10 to the power 7 to 10 to the power 8 cells per ml and is entering a stationary phase. Apart from this, it is highly dependent on the growth medium and the degree of aeration of the culture. Competence initially arises in only a small fraction of cells, which then excretes one or more small proteins called the competence factors that convert the remainder population competent. Competence factors further stimulates the production of 8 to 10 new proteins required for transformation. They are species specific and induce competence only in closely related species. The fraction of the culture that becomes competent and the duration of the competent state are also species dependent. The mechanism of natural transformation has so far been discovered in certain gram-positive and gram-negative bacterial genera such as Streptococcus, Bacillus, Haemophilus, Neisseria, etc. Due to the differences in the structure of the cell envelope between gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria, there are some differences in the mechanisms of DNA uptake in these cells. However, most of them share common features that involve related proteins. The experiments have indicated that there are 2 stages of interaction of DNA with the competent cells. The first is brief and reversible binding stage, in which the DNA can be washed from the cells in which the DNA is completely sensitive to DNA's degradation. The second stage is a reversible stage where the DNA cannot be washed off from the cells and it is also resistant to DNase. DNA uptake. Gram-negative bacteria take up DNA in 2 stages, customarily referred to as DNA uptake, that is across the outer membrane, and DNA translocation, that is across the inner membrane. The DNA first binds to the surface of the competent cells on a DNA receptor and passes through the cytoplasmic membrane via DNA translocase. After DNA is bound to the cell, uptake occurs by retraction of cell surface fibers of the type 4 pilus family T4P, which pulls the DNA into the periplasm through secretin pores in the outer membrane. In some species, the same pilus proteins form the long pili used for adhesion and twitching motility, but in others, the fibers are inferred to occur only as short competence specific pseudopili that do not protrude detectably beyond the cell surface like those used in type 2 secretion. In gram-negative cells, due to the presence of an extramembrane, the DNA requires the presence of a channel formed by secretins on the outer membrane. Pillin may be required for competence, but its role is uncertain. The uptake of DNA is generally non-sequence specific, although in some species, the presence of specific DNA uptake sequences may facilitate efficient DNA uptake. In gram-positive bacteria, only single-stranded DNA may pass through the other strand being degraded by nucleases in the process. COM-EA binds directly to the extracellular double-stranded DNA. COM-F gene encodes for proteins that translocate the single-stranded DNA into the cell. COM-EA, COM-EC and COM-FA together form an ATP binding cassette transporter. The genes in the COMG operon encodes proteins that might form a pseudopilus, which helps move DNA through the COM-EC channel, followed by retraction of COM-EC to take the DNA inside the cell. Example of gram-positive bacteria. The mechanism of transformation has been extensively studied in Streptococcus pneumoniae. A competent cell binds a double-stranded DNA fragment. If the fragment is greater than 5 × 10 to the power 5 Daltons, then the process of binding is random and the donor fragments compete with each other. Uptake of DNA requires energy expenditure. One of the two strands is hydrolyzed by an envelope-associated exonuclease, while the other strand associates with the small proteins and moves through the plasma membrane. This single strand then aligns itself with the homologous region of the genome and gets integrated. Example of gram-negative bacteria. Transformation in Haemophilus influenzae differs from that of Streptococcus pneumoniae in several respects. It does not produce any competence factor to stimulate the development of competence. It takes up DNA from only closely related species. Double-stranded DNA complexed with proteins is taken up by membrane vesicles. The specificity of Haemophilus influenzae transformation is due to a special 11 base pair sequence that is repeated about 600 times in its genomic DNA. The incoming strand of DNA must contain this sequence to be bound by competent cell. Competence in artificial transformation. Although transformation is naturally occurring in many types of bacteria, scientists have found ways to artificially induce and enhance a bacterial cell's competency. It can be induced in laboratory by making the cell passively permeable to DNA by exposing it to conditions that do not normally occur in nature. The cells are incubated in a solution containing divalent cations, most commonly calcium chloride solution, under cold conditions, which is then exposed to a pulse of heat shock. The surface of bacteria such as E. coli is negatively charged due to phospholipids and lipopolysaccharides on its cell surface, and the DNA is also negatively charged. One function of the divalent cation therefore would be to shield the charges by coordinating the phosphate groups and other negative charges, thereby allowing a DNA molecule to adhere to the cell surface. It is suggested that exposing the cells to the divalent cations in cold condition may also change or weaken the cell surface structure of the cells, making it more permeable to DNA. The heat pulse is thought to create a thermal imbalance on either side of the cell membrane, which forces the DNA to enter the cells through either cell pores or the damaged cell wall. Electroporation is another method of promoting competence. As the name implies, electroporation involves using electricity to make pores in the bacterial cell membrane through which DNA can pass. Using this method, the cells are briefly shocked with an electric field, which is thought to create holes in the cell membrane through which the plasmid DNA may enter. After the electric shock, the holes are rapidly closed by the cell's membrane repair mechanisms. Molecular mechanism of transformation. While studying the transformation in Streptococcus pneumoniae, two possible mechanisms were understood. A. DNA substitution, where the incoming donor allele replaces the allele of the recipient. B. Insertion of DNA fragment containing donor allele adjacent to the recipient allele, forming a partial diploid. Later on, with different experimental evidences, it was proved that allelic substitution is the only preferred mechanism for transformation in bacteria. As discussed earlier, the uptake of transforming DNA into the competent cell is accompanied by digestion of one of the strands of the double-stranded DNA, thus making only one strand available for interaction with the recipient DNA. The single strand is in some way protected from nuclease attack. It is also coated with SSB protein, maintaining it in a single-stranded condition, especially at the places of formation of replication fork. Experimental evidences further prove that the single strand of donor DNA is linearly inserted into the recipient DNA. Another bacterial protein, for example, Rec-A protein of E. coli, then facilitates DNA pairing in recombination. The incoming single-stranded fragment causes local unwinding of the recipient chromosome at 5' end, followed by cutting of the displaced single strand. The unwinding of recipient DNA continues, increasing the proportion of base pairing of the invading strand to the recipient strand. Nucleases keep on trimming the free ends of the donor or recipient DNA simultaneously. DNA ligase finally seals the nick, resulting in the formation of heteroduplex region. Whether or not the donor marker is recovered in the progeny cells depends on whether or not mismatch repair occurs, and if so, whether or not the unpaired base in the donor or recipient has been removed. Transformational mapping. Like co-transduction, transformational mapping is used for genes that are relatively close to one another. When the DNA is isolated from the donor bacterium, it is broken down into numerous fragments. Transformation of most genes occurs at a frequency of about 1 cell per 10 to the power 3. If two genes P and Q are so widely separated in the donor chromosome that they are always carried on two different DNA fragments, then the probability of simultaneous transformation, that is co-transformation, is 1 per 10 to the power 6 recipients. However, if the two genes are so near one another that they are often present on a single DNA fragment, the frequency of co-transformation will be nearly the same as the frequency of single gene transformation. Thus, co-transformation suggests proximity of two genes. Recombination frequencies are used to infer gene order. For instance, when a strain bearing P plus, Q plus and O plus is crossed with a strain P, Q, O, then if P positive and Q positive frequently transform, the order is P, Q, O. If P positive and O positive frequently transform, then the order is P, O, Q. Other uses of transformation. Other than mapping, transformation is used to determine whether certain chemical agents act directly on DNA. When any bacterium is exposed to a certain chemical and undergoes mutagenesis, then just by production of mutants, one cannot be sure that the chemical has directly acted upon the bacterial DNA. Alternatively, a metabolite of the chemical could be an active substance, or the chemical could have induced some mutagenic pathway. Thus, if a pure DNA is exposed to a chemical and then used for transformation experiment, the production of mutations would indicate a direct effect on the DNA. This can be achieved by a co-transformation experiment. For instance, if the DNA from donor strain is Lac negative and streptomycin resistant and is used to transform Lac positive and streptomycin sensitive recipient using streptomycin resistant as the selected marker, some of the streptomycin resistant cells would also be Lac negative. However, the Lac negative marker could not appear in the recipient. Thus, if the donor DNA was treated with a known mutagen that acted directly on DNA, some Lac negative cells would be found among the streptomycin resistant mutants. Thus, the presence of lac-negative streptomycin-resistant transformants would indicate that the mutagen is directly active on DNA. Transformation is also useful in identifying DNA. For example, in an experiment where DNA isolated from bacterial cell infected with phage DNA is fractionated by zonal sedimentation or electrophoresis, it is often necessary to locate the bacterial and the phage DNA among various fractions. With Bacillus subtilis, testing each fraction for transformation of bacterial markers can be used to identify bacterial DNA. Applications. Many applications and variations of bacterial transformation exist. With respect to screening for transformed bacteria, plasmids often containing a gene encoding the enzyme beta-galactosidase to aid with screening. When the substrate for this enzyme is included in agar plates, bacteria that have been transformed with plasmids containing an insert yield white colonies, while those that do not contain an insert yield blue colonies. This method is referred to as blue and white screening. In most transformation experiments, the goal is to get rapidly dividing bacteria to make large quantities of your plasmid, which includes your target gene. Following bacterial transformation, the next step is to grow up large quantities of the bacteria in antibiotic containing liquid medium and perform plasmid purification, which, as its name suggests, involves purifying the plasmids from bacteria. Many commercial kits are available for this purpose. Sometimes the goal of transformation is to have bacteria generated large amounts of protein encoded by the plasmid. Here you see bacterial cells being homogenized and lysed before a technique called affinity purification can be performed to isolate the target protein. After purifying large amounts of the protein, it can then be crystallized and structure of the particular protein of interest can be identified. Conclusion. At the end of this lecture, we have understood bacterial transformation and its types, that is natural and artificial transformation. We have studied the importance and role of competence in transformation as well as molecular mechanism of DNA uptake. Finally, we have comprehended transformational mapping and other applications of the procedure.